Good afternoon, buenas tardes, boa tarde, bonjour. Thank you for joining our webinar. Thank you for all our friends for all over the Americas. We are here with Sarah Quigley, the founder of Private Travel Iceland. So Sarah, you have your beautiful island to show us, and definitely some tips for the winter, for next summer, and of course where we are today with COVID.
Of course, definitely. So yeah, I'm just going to be talking about looking forward now because we're coming to the end of the summer in Iceland. So looking forward to the winter season, what can you expect? And then as Dominique mentioned, we'll have a quick chat about forward bookings for 2022. And then I'll just talk through the sort of latest COVID procedures and rules and things that are going on at the moment. So there we go. Thank you all for coming. Good evening. I'm based in the UK, but our office is located just outside of Reykjavik, between Keflavik Airport and the city. So I'm based here. Usually, as Dominique knows, like most of us, I'm on the road like Dominique, but grounded to a halt for the moment, and just sort of doing everything from home. But the office is still functioning over in Iceland, and the boys and the operational team are all over there and welcoming clients for what has been a very, very busy summer for us. So Iceland in winter is completely different to the summer. The days are shorter, it's darker, we're a little bit more restricted on what we can do. So I just want to sort of talk through that with you and just show you some of the highlights for winter. So that's just an overview of Iceland and the map and everything. Usually first time clients coming into Iceland, we'll focus them on the Reykjavik area down towards the south coast and then ending sort of at the Blue Lagoon area. People with a bit longer time, we will look then at going a little bit further as far as the Glacial Lagoon, or even sort of touch on the West Fjords, and some people then will head up for north. But we find usually people traveling in the winter months come for a shorter duration. We would say usually people on average about 5 nights, typically from Europe or the East Coast, and then people coming from the West Coast because it's a bit further, maybe sort of 7 nights. So let's just show you some of the images. This first image actually matches up with Dominique's image. So this is the Diamond Beach, which comes off of the Glacial Lagoon that's behind Dominique. So the icebergs come off the glacier, they float in the lagoon, and then some of them wash out to the black sand beaches, and then they sort of get washed back on, and they call it the Diamond Beach because of just the way they look with the light and everything. And then we've got the Northern Lights. So the season, I've actually been in Iceland in August when the season has started, but typically it will start a little bit sort of later, sort of mid to late September, and then run all the way through roughly till about April. Obviously, it's not one of those things we can guarantee. We wish we could, because that would just make everybody's itinerary complete who's coming in the winter. But what we do tend to do on our winter itineraries is add at least one private Northern Light hunt where their driver guide will, we don't set a day on it, the driver guide will be looking at the forecast while the client's on the ground, where they are, and then work out the sort of best destination, whether it's just finishing after their sightseeing, or whether the guide sits down with them and says, look, it looks like they're going to be good in the middle of a night. We might need to wake up, in the middle of a night, if that's okay. Then they'll sort of agree on that. They'll take them out to hopefully to see something as amazing as that image there. We can pack up some hot chocolate or champagne. If your clients would like, just let us know, and sort of make it a really special scene. Also as well, Hotel Rangor and a couple of the other hotels outside of the city based on the south coast do a Northern Light sort of function where when you go to bed at night, you can let the front desk know that if the Northern Lights do come out, then to call your room, and then they ring your room, and then you can go out and just see them as well. So that's another good option. So that was the Glacial Lagoon, that first sort of picture I showed you, which is down there on the southeast of Iceland. This is Thorsmork, so starting to sort of, this is probably what it's sort of looking about now, sort of going into September. Thorsmork is a year-round destination that we use with the Super Jeep, just because the glacier rivers and the terrain, it's not sort of easily accessible by a normal vehicle. So we'll swap the client's vehicle into a super Jeep, which is sort of a modified four-wheel drive with the big tires, anything up to sort of 40 inches. And then they'll head through those glacier rivers, great hiking, canyons and hidden waterfalls and things. So Thorsmork's there sort of just centre south of Iceland. This is one of the waterfalls, Skogafoss, on the south coast of Iceland during winter. So they do start to sort of freeze up as we get into the colder months. And that's just located there on the south coast. So we usually do that with the South Shore tour. This is Gullfoss, which is probably the most famous waterfall in Iceland. This one is on the Golden Circle tour. So this is sort of midwinter as well, when that starts to freeze over. And as you can see, Gullfoss is there, sort of just located, what we call that the Golden Circle, which is Gullfoss, Glacial and Thingvellir National Park. So those three sort of main sites that we do in a day. Then on the south coast, we have the famous air wreck. I think Justin Bieber or someone made it super famous as well within one of their music videos. And a photographer that we work with, Thor, captured a really good image there of the Northern Lights over the plane wreck. And that's just down on the south coast. We can also do that on the South Shore tour. So this is heading towards the west of Iceland. This is Kirkjufjörð, which is a mountain in Snæfellsnes Peninsula. This is another great region for Northern Lights sort of hunting. Obviously, the less light pollution you have, the more chance that we have of seeing it. Even though, you know, it does come out in Reykjavik, and the guys in the office, you know, when you read the next morning about how good the Northern Lights were, they don't notice it anymore because they're just so used to it. They say they don't look up in the sky anymore, but, you know, if we know it's going to be there and the clients are in the city, then obviously we'll sort of tell them and give them a heads up. So that's the west. So you can see that it's right on the tip of the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, which is this peninsula just around there. So currently in Iceland as well, we have an eruption which started in March. We didn't think it would go on this long, but it's still going. And when I was in Iceland last month, we hiked it, and the route is always changing for the hike to go see the eruption, because obviously it's a live eruption, the lava's moving, so it's currently blocking and creating new paths. At the beginning of the eruption, we were able to offer sort of the fat bike mountain bikes to go and see the eruption, but just with the trails that are happening now, it's just a lot better to sort of go and hike. So this photo was taken sort of at the beginning of the eruption, so sort of March time last year, where Thor, the photographer that we work with, caught the Northern Lights and the eruption at the same time, which just absolutely amazing. This is a sort of aerial shot of it happening when it not long after it erupted. Just some other images there, and one from above. And then this is one that I took last month. So the hike that we took, this was actually 1 o'clock in the morning. So we went, you know, beginning of July. So we were nearly on 24 hours of daylight. So we sort of hiked around it, mainly upwards. I think it was about 5 kilometers each way, just sort of going up. Obviously, something to remember, it's happening in the Reykjanes Peninsula. It's a very sort of rough terrain anyway. And because it's a live eruption, there's no paths for people to be walking on. So, you know, I just want people to bear that in mind. If you do have clients maybe with mobility issues or things like that, then it is sort of loose and rough terrain. So just experienced and confident walkers will be good. The other option as well is we can do sort of 45-minute helicopter excursions over the eruption. They can land nearby for the clients to have sort of 10-15 minutes nearby and then fly back. So that's another option if people are limited on time or have mobility issues. So the main sort of reason for people coming to Iceland we get in the requests is the Northern Lights. You know, sometimes they come out just a little bit, and sometimes we're lucky enough to sort of witness them in their full glory. So as I mentioned earlier, the great hotels to sort of see the Northern Lights are Hotel Ranga, which is located on the south coast. It's a really good spot to see. This is the Imagine Peace Tower in Reykjavik, where Yoko Ono lights up this light in memory of John Lennon. So that's another good image with the Northern Lights. And then we're sort of now just sort of talk about the activities that we can do mainly in the winter months. So obviously we can do glacier walking and hiking and snowmobiling, and we can go inside a glacier. We can still do the sort of off-road ATV and buggy activities, and then the horse riding as well can still be carried out during the winter months. And then just some of the other hotels that we sort of like to feature. The Blue Lagoon Retreat Hotel is Iceland's only 5-star hotel. So we like to include this at the end of every itinerary for 2 reasons, really. Firstly, because it is the only 5-star hotel. So we like to manage clients' expectations. Iceland's still not a hotel destination, but more of a location destination. So if somebody stayed here at the beginning, their expectations of the hotel will be so high, and we don't want them to be sort of disappointed by the other places where they stay. So by putting this at the end, it's a really good sort of wow to have at the end of the itinerary. And also as well, you know, it's a busy itinerary that people are doing. They're walking, they're hiking, they're outdoors a lot. So to have 1 or 2 nights at the retreat at the end, just to sort of fully unwind, use the facilities, the lagoon, the spa and everything, it's a really good sort of way to unwind at the end of the trip. They have this great spa facility, and then they have this thing called the ritual, where you're using silica and lava in scrubs and masks and things, and experiencing all the sort of local produce. So the Blue Lagoon is just located about 20 minutes from the airport and about 30 minutes from Reykjavik itself. Depler Farm up in the north is another property which is great for winter. Also as well, during the summer months, they do the heli skiing. It can be taken as a room, or also because it's not very big, it can be taken on exclusive use as well. And that's a great image of it up in with their hot pool and the Northern Lights. So that's up on the north coast of Iceland. If clients were to drive with the driver guide from Reykjavik, you're looking sort of 5 to 6 hours each way. Otherwise, we will book them an internal flight where they can fly to Akureyri, and then it's about a 40-minute transfer we can do there. The Foss Hotel Glacial Lagoon, so back to the southeast of Iceland. This is sort of the main property we use there. It's a comfortable 3-star sort of modern Scandi feel property. And then Hotel Ranga, which we've mentioned down on the south coast. My personal favorite on the south coast is Scalacot. It's a small sort of boutique property on a working farm. So the guy that owns it's a farmer. He's got horses there. He's got all of his cattle, and he just carries on with his day-to-day farming life. And if people are interested, he's more than welcome to show them around and for them to help out as well. He doesn't change what he does each day. You know, if you're happy to do what he's doing, then he's happy to have the help. So that's Scalacot there with the Northern Lights and in the winter. And that's again just sort of, that's located between Skogafoss and Salangerfoss on the south coast. And in the summer months, you have amazing views out to the Westman Islands. Hotel Rusevel, so this is in the Borgafjord area, which is sort of north of Reykjavik, but not as far west as the West Fjords and Snæfellsnes. This is a really lovely property for exploring, hiking, there's some geothermal pools and things, and then you've got also good access to the glaciers from there as well. And that's just sort of located just there. Tofu's Retreat, it's a new one to the sort of portfolio. It opened just before COVID, and it's based on the Icelandic turf houses. So you have 2-bedroom units, which is what the bottom left pitch is based on. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a living room and a kitchenette with your own private hot pool. Or you have 1-bedroom units that come in groups of 3. So if you have like a family of 5 or 6, you can block the 3 of them out, and then they have a private hot pool as well. That one's located on the Golden Circle route, and that's a really great sort of base for families wanting something a little bit more private, but with hotel facilities. And that's just there. So just some of the special moments that we do at Private Travel Iceland or have done over the years. We've been lucky enough to hire out Harper Concert Hall in Reykjavik and hire the Icelandic Philharmonic Orchestra for a family. We've done numerous sort of private dinners and lunch setups for groups and families coming who want something a little bit special. We've done an amazing Game of Thrones Bachelor party. This was a group of guys who wanted to get dressed up and be left in the wilderness with sort of like a scavenger hunt to find themselves to this amazing cabin with a chef and a DJ that we had set up for them. That was loads of fun. We can do Viking things, private camps, sort of simple private lunches there like we have in Thorsmork. That's just an idea of what the camps look like inside. And then we can take like into the glacier or inside the volcano on a private basis for sort of drinks, events and things. So that's just sort of an overview and to have a look at winter. I hope you enjoyed that. So just want to sort of quickly touch on bookings for 2022. We have and already do have quite a few sort of coming in. So if you have clients that are interested in for next summer, I would tell them to sort of start looking and thinking about it now and getting it secure rather than leaving it. Because we're noticing some of the hotels are already filling up. And I think that's just a case of people that weren't confident to travel this year have already booked for next year, or people that for some reason their plans have changed for this year and they've postponed for next year. So if you do have those clients looking for 2022, I would sort of push them to get some dates and to start thinking about it now. And then the last thing we would just want to touch on is COVID, obviously, the biggest sort of subject that we all talk about at the moment. So currently in Iceland, I believe it's on different sort of lists for each countries around the world. The numbers are sort of consistent daily in Iceland. It's about 55 new cases a day, which isn't many. Since COVID started in Iceland, there's only been sort of approximately 30 deaths. So they've done really well on that sort of side. And I think 2/3 of those were people 80 and over. So they have managed it well. I think we're on about 87-88% of the population are double vaccinated now as well. And I did read this morning that they're going to start vaccinating children from 12. So that's another sort of positive thing, I guess, with all the kids going back to school. The current sort of procedure to get into Iceland is if you are double vaccinated or have the Johnson one, which is a double 1-in-1, you don't need to do any quarantining. You just need to have a PCR, clear PCR within 72 hours of your arrival. And your vaccine needs to be one approved by the Icelandic government, which I have a list of, so I can send that out when I send the presentation tomorrow. And you just need to do a pre-registration form as well. So all of those papers will get you into Iceland and everything will be good. And I know with the majority of countries, you need a PCR, or I can't think what you call them in the US. We call them in the UK lateral flow. I think they're the rapid sort
of. The antigen?
Yes, that's the one, yeah. So you can either have that or the PCR to get back in into your country. When I was in Iceland last month and I took the PCR to come back to the UK, it was all very easy and quick because there wasn't as many sort of tourists as there are at the moment. So I took the test, it was a 5-minute queue, you booked your appointment, and I got the results within 5 hours. But because of the influx of sort of tourists and the more tests that they're doing now, you could be, even though you book a slot in the queue for 2 hours and they're saying 48 hours for the results. So what we're finding now and what we're recommending to clients is to take the other test where you get the results within 20 minutes. And there's places in Reykjavik you can do that, or there's one just before the airport. And we send you all the information and the links and everything to book all those tests. And if clients aren't happy to book them before they arrive, what we do on the first day is the driver guide will sit down with them and help them book it and sort of work out the right times according to their itinerary. But, you know, I think Iceland's a great destination to come sort of post-COVID, the majority of your itinerary is outdoors. There's not much sort of mixing with large groups and things. We're booking a lot of the activities and things on a private basis. You have the same driver guide throughout, who we sort of test between clients as well. So we're all sort of monitoring it and keeping it as safe as possible for everybody. And there we go.
All right. Thank you very much, Sarah. It was indeed, as you said, Hélène, very informative and great presentation. Let's look at the Q&A. Jess, you wanted to know if they book only 5-star hotel, but in your example, Sarah, you were saying that there is a 3- and 4-star accommodation as well that are offered.
Exactly. I mean, there's only sort of one 5-star hotel, which is the Retreat, and then Depler Farm sort of comes close, and then the rest are all sort of 3-4 star anyway. Obviously, Iceland is an expensive destination, so those 3- and 4-star hotels come with a price of what we would usually pay for a 5-star in other destinations.
Ducky, you want to know if they hike to the volcano on a tour with your without, what do you say? Do clients need to bring boots and their own poles, or do you supply the hiking equipment?
I didn't use a pole when I was there. I didn't think it was needed, but if your clients feel more comfortable, then they're happy to bring them, or let us know and we can get them in advance. I would say to any client, whether they're hiking the volcano or not, to always bring good walking shoes or boots to Iceland, because you're going to use them every day.
But at least the poles, you could supply them if they don't want to carry them from the...
Just give us a heads up so we know that we've got some available.
Loan, you just say hello. So hello, Loan. You have another question. I have not been to Iceland. Would like to arrange a trip to learn more about the destination. Can I work with you on that?
Of course.
Perfect. So Sarah will be the one sending the recording, sending the presentation, and so you will have all our information. Voilà. Bonnie, is it easy to find a location to get PCR tests in Iceland? I think you mentioned that. I don't know. You mean throughout the trip or at the beginning, Bonnie? I don't know.
If it's to get the PCR test to get back home, then we'll send all the links for the booking and advise the sort of best place and time. And as sort of mentioned, if clients don't want to book it beforehand, then we're quite happy to get the guide to work with them once they arrive to book all that. The test centres aren't open for a long time, which is why we sort of get the guide to work with them, because obviously they know the itinerary.
They know exactly. Yeah. Bonnie, you want to know what are the rules for children who are not vaccinated? You're meaning the children, tourist children.
If they were born after 2005, then it's all fine. They don't need anything.
Carlos, when will the Edition Hotel open?
That's the biggest question. This has been on the biggest question since we started the office 8 years ago. When I was there last month, I really wanted to go and see it, but they're not letting anybody see it until the designer and the architect has gone in himself and approved it. People are there, they're advertising for jobs and people are applying for them, but nobody knows what job they're applying for. They know nothing about the hotel because it's all very, very secretive. They were due to open this month, but still nothing. So I think it's one of those things that we'll believe it when it opens.
All right. But if it was due to open this month, we could think that by September, October should be done, no? You don't want to say.
It's just been so ongoing. I mean, it looks amazing and it's going to be amazing, but they're just not letting anyone see anything, any images or anything.
All right, so that's really private.
Very top secret.
Johnny, you just says hi there, Johnny. Robin, you said it's gorgeous. And Diane, can you send us your email and contact? So everything will be in the follow-up. What about travel in November 2021? What are the conditions like?
So it's a good time to come in terms of it's quite quiet. It's not the sort of, in Europe, we have holidays at the end of October, so it's a little bit busier then. And I think November, not many people travel because it's not yet Christmas. And it's that. Yeah, so it's a really good, I mean, obviously it's wintry. It's dark and the days are a bit shorter because come December 21st, that's when we're on the shortest day. but it's beautiful. It's like a winter wonderland with not many people, so it's a really good time to come.
We have a question. How cold does it get in winter months, and what is the temperature like in the summer months? Is there a rainy season?
You can experience all 4 seasons in a day, in summer and winter. The thing with Iceland, because it's such a small island with nothing around it, it's prone to every kind of weather. So we always say to people, layers are the best things to bring. You know, obviously lighter layers in the summer. It can get anything up to 20 Celsius, but that's sort of very rare. I would say sort of mid-teens in the summer. And then in the winter, it doesn't get as cold as you think, temperature-wise. Sort of anything from sort of 3 down to about -5. But it's the wind chill. I don't know if any of you guys are on here from Chicago, but it's that kind of Chicago wind chill that you get. So yeah, that's why layers are always good.
Linda, you said that was a very helpful presentation. Victoria, you said we will send you the recording, definitely. Hélène, what hotel are you talking about to open? The edition, Hélène.
Yeah, the Marriott edition.
Marriott edition.
And so it's meant to open in Reykjavik. Yeah, on the harbour side,
right.
next to the Harper Concert Hall. But yeah, it's coming.
Well, maybe next time, next webinar, we'll have a big news and you will have the picture
on it when it opens.
All right, so I do not see any more question, anyone. So I don't know if you have anything to add. If not, we're gonna say goodbye to Sarah. We'll just have our 30 minutes. Thank you, Sarah. It's nicely wrapped. And I think everyone is looking forward to receive your follow-up.
Yeah.
On cancellation policy, if you book now for next summer, is saying Hélène.
They're all on our website, so I'll add a link onto that with the information that we send out. But obviously anything sort of COVID related, if the country closes or if you're unable to visit, then we sort of look at that on a case by case, but we are sort of very flexible.
And Hélène, I had missed your question because you want also to know the cancellation policy if they book now. You mean for next summer or just even, it's the same probably. Sarah, you will look at it depending.
Yes, yeah.
All right. So thank you everyone for joining us. And it was a pleasure to have you with us today. And we look forward to our next webinar tomorrow. And Sarah, thank you. I just want to add, everybody is aware that we have covered global, which is a nice things to get for your clients, because if you test positive, they can bring you back to your country. And you don't have to quarantine wherever you are, even if it's a beautiful country like Iceland. When it's time to go back, you rather probably do your 15 days quarantine inside your home. So just for you to remember that. Yes, Catherine, you will receive a copy of the recording and a copy of the presentation itself. Voilà. Thank you, everybody. So we look forward to seeing you. Oh, I see 4 more on the Q&A. Win, you said wonderful presentation. Thank you, Sarah, for your help in my trip next week. This is Carlos. Voilà. Vicky, thank you, ladies. And Carlos, you said no, this week. This week, actually. Oh, so are you gonna? But no, you might be gonna meet Carlos. Please send me some pictures of Private Travel Iceland and you in action for our social media.
Yeah, Carlos is going to our office to meet the guys to talk about. He's going on a trip to talk about a group that he's working on for next year, which is very exciting.
Wonderful, wonderful, And Robin, you said thank you a bunch. Julie, thank you for a great presentation. Catherine, fabulous. Nancy, thank you. That's wonderful. Lohan, thank you for the webinar, and Yvonne as well. So we love you all, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Allez, bye-bye. And bye, Sarah.